Hey everyone, before I get started, I just want to remind you that if you like my content, hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and then join the Militiaman and Crew Patreon community by clicking the link in the caption. Hey everybody, it's Monday, and I'm just glad that you guys are all here with me tonight. Hey, I just want to get to a few things. Look, as we get started, we have a global summit that's supposed to be going on. You have the Securities Commission talking about stocks. You have the Sudanese advisor coming and talking about the country's needs and some of the things that are, like in brief, the basics with America. Okay, so there's quite a few little bits and pieces and stuff. Are they the most important things? Of course, there's really, really important issues that are going on, and they're going to go on day to day. So some of the things that I want to talk about is that, integrity is really kind of a big thing with Militiaman and Crew. And I think that the reason why most everybody comes to Militiaman and Crew is because that we actually bring news and we bring data that is talked about. It's beaten around the bush a little bit, if you will, if you want to call it that. And it's supported by data. Now, granted, we all know that the ultimate ability to be able to communicate with translations is not that good. And the politics that come involved, the politics. You got 2 sides, 3 sides, maybe 4. They're all coming in, they got a bone to pick. But what we're talking about now, though, is that the inevitability of the fact that we've been studying this for, well, and not in my case, but some people, since 2003. That's a long time. And there's a lot of people around the world. It's just not the United States of America, and it's not just Great Britain, or it's not just Canada. It's places like China, it's like South Korea, it's like Russia, it's Scandinavia. We have Swedish people, Switzerland, everybody, just all over the place, Japan, right? So they all come in and see our room and stuff, and so we talk about stuff that we believe that is probably as accurate as we possibly can and support that. And even the Iraqis, for instance, some of those Iraqis don't live, for instance, in Iraq anymore, but they work outside the country. Some of those folks are in Saudi Arabia. Some of those folks are actually, medical professionals in different countries that communicate with us. So it's like, this isn't just like a random fly-by-night situation, and what we're doing here is giving information that is to the best of our ability. And the nice thing about this is that sometimes things change. So we've all heard the stories that you can get from this, that, and the other thing. We've heard specific stories that were suggesting many things, even as far back as 2018. You've heard some specific commentary from different folks that specifically say it's really close, da-da-da. But we have the data, I've showed it a couple of times on, that we know that there's specific things that have happened as far back as 2018. But at this stage of the game, we have a lot of stuff that's happening. And for, in this particular case, we know that the World Trade Organization is about ready to have some information that's going to come out in the next couple of weeks. And one of the things that we talked about, there were some data sets that were out today. And there's going to be some more tomorrow. And so what does that coincide with? I think you guys can see what the 14th of February means. But it has nothing to do with Valentine's Day. What it has to do with is specific data that's going to come out and or be talked about, and decisions to be made that have nothing to do with having a love relationship or anything like Valentine's Day. But the cool part is that it happens to be on the 14th. So we're going to see how that turns out. Back to some of the other things that happen is that, being the fact that Iraq has been doing all these things, this development road project, getting geared for the ice cutter system, getting geared for the development road project, sustainable development, the oil projects, getting to their exposure of the tripartite budget they talk about today, those things are all in the news and they're all real. And so when we talk about bankers and when we talk about stories, that's real. It's organic. I mean, we have people that really do things. They show things, okay? Is it a fact? Of course it is. It's in a sense that they actually showed up and they had conversations. That's a fact. Is it something that where they are anybody's deferring from what our audio in Patreon suggests? No, because it's real organic data. It's real people talking about their experiences. It's not saying we're going to have a XYZ rate tomorrow or anything like that, or it's going to be in the next few days, or it's going to be next year. We didn't get into that. So when you see or hear of commentary from militiamen and crew that isn't, and you haven't viewed it specifically in Patreon, okay, aside from Discord, because sadly Discord doesn't do us justice, is because they allow everybody to come in, cut and paste, and edit whenever they feel like it. And that's too bad. But Patreon doesn't allow that. So my audio, our audio with militiamen and crew, and all of those crew members do such a wonderful job that you guys probably have experienced in your life in the last year or so, should be commemorated because they work really hard and they help me help you. And so in this particular case, pay attention. If you haven't seen the original and the at length within our forum, it's likely that you don't have the whole story, you don't have it accurately, and you don't have it in context. So let's move on from that. But that's where I stand right there. So, but enjoy it, and it's for everybody. But then again, you guys got to realize that when we give our information, we support our crew, we support our effort, and of course we support our patrons, and that's what we've done. So thank you all for being with me. I think it's going to be fantastic. And this particular article is about the Global Summit in Dubai. It says for tomorrow, but that was yesterday. But the interesting thing about this particular summit was that it was scheduled for a lot of different people, and I'm not going to get into it, but the article's name, and you can find this in Patreon, a global summit hosted by Dubai tomorrow for governments under the slogan, Foresight of Future Governments in Yesterday. So that to me is a really big thing because they're talking about the future. It's a slogan for the future. Remember when they were in the UN Assembly, they talked about Iraq being the savior, if you will. Okay. The savior of what? The financial system. And then you go to Davos, and they were reiterated from that assembly to Davos as Iraq was going to be the savior of the financial system. And so then we find out as we speak that the citizens now from the street, if you will, and even some of the data that comes from like the videos that come from the metro, the new metro they got, they're talking about Al-Sudani as being the savior. Well, actually, Al-Sudani was supposed to be speaking at this new, so Al-Sudani, it was supposed to be having a speak and greet with all the people at this 2024 summit in Dubai, but he chose to not go. It looks like Taif Sami, which is the finance minister, she's participated today in the work of the World Summit of Governments held in the United Arab Emirates. And what is she doing? She's foreseeing the governments of the future. So the governments of the future, what are they talking about? Basically, here coming up on the 14th. Okay, so when we talk about the WTO meeting on the 14th, decisions will be made according to the WTO on the 14th. There you have it. We talked about this. It's not something new. It's been on the WTO's calendar for weeks. It isn't just brand new. It is one of those things that we're going to have to see. Is it a smoking gun? Of course not. But with the participation of more than 25 heads of state and the governments, it says the World Government Summit focuses on specific axes. Is it 14 axes? No, it's less than that. Including enhancing the pace of growth and change for effective governance, artificial intelligence, and new future horizons. I'm pretty sure that we all know that what happened in the Davos summit was all about confidence, right? It's support confidence, invoke confidence. They had all kinds of different things, but they were focused on confidence, and that was for the international monetary financial system. This particular article comes out and says, well, the Securities Exchange Commission is accepting cash. And how are they accepting cash? They're not doing it in physical cash. They're talking about now that the authority has now stopped accepting that cash payments, except through electronic payment methods as revenues from the Securities Authority. That's who's talking about it. So we're talking about trading stocks. Their stock exchange has gone up, on the last public information in the last 30 days was that their stock exchange in certain parts was up 114%. I think that's what it was. So you can see that there's a drive to do clean trading, electronic trading, having specific cash, know your customer. They're talking about that stuff. Electronic companies are not yet traded, electronic payment companies, so they will be. I have a feeling that what they're telling me there is that electronic payment companies are going to be traded on the ISX. And what is going to happen? They're going to a cashless society. I think if you read between the lines, I think the global investors are going to find that to be very attractive. Not to mention all the other natural resources, not the other entities, public entities, private entities that are going to be doing business, whether that's minerals, whether that's cement, steel, construction companies. You get the picture. But then don't forget, food, all right? KFC, Burger King, I don't know, whatever they have over in Europe, they all going to be coming over there too. So they're going to have lots of different food issues. They're going to have grocery stores. They're going to have all the different stuff. Those roads and all the new lights they're going to have, all the new hotels and the parks and the tourism. You get this picture that they know that this is going to be just a massive endeavor. Al-Sudani cancels his visit to the Emirates and apologized for it. Why did he cancel? Why did he not go to a world global summit? You have to ask yourself, well, what was he doing? Was he checking his borders? Was he talking to his armed forces? What was he doing? He was doing exactly what I just said. He's the commander-in-chief. He was talking to his formalities of his armed forces. He was out representing his borders, and he's preventing any loopholes from remnants of terrorism. He's going on to one of the most important corridors of the members of the terrorist states of ISIS to do what? Containment. They're not into it. The article is basically Al-Sudani cancels his visit to the Emirates and apologized to its president. And then another one that says Al-Sudani conducts a tour of Wadi al-Tharthar strategic line and directs to secure the combat, technical, administrative requirements of officers and ranks. So what did he do? He stayed home to take care of his borders. He stayed home to take care of his people, his military, and what does he want to do? It sounds like what he's been doing is to create an environment, take Iraq from a public sector to a private sector. And here again, the Minister of Interior on his back. It says, I would read this one. I'm not going to get into it because it's a lengthy one too. But the Minister of Interior, it says, border security is at its best in the life of the Iraqi state. It's been the best in the Iraqi state. So they're boasting that they're set, ready to go for the fact that they are the best security that Iraq has ever seen. So basically, what is this to me? It says the security at the borders has been the best in its life. Al-Sudani stayed home from the 2024 summit and was out overlooking its borders and the security situation. Kudos to him. Why not? He should be. What are they saying with that metro I mentioned? There's videos out, there's audios out that talk about who's the savior. Al-Sudani. The armed forces look to be in good spirit. With the sounds of it, they should be. Border security will be a big change to come, and we'll need to be ready, and it will be ongoing into the future. So you can't deny that. When you're going into a market economy, investors are going to need security. They're not going to be needing, being shelled and bombed and terrorism and all those things. There's going to be some heavy security. So that's good. And then there's some articles that talk about some of the people from the Republic. I mean, the Republican, which I say, though, is that some of the political movement people are anti-America, they're anti-Western, and they don't want us to be in town. And they have some good articles. And here's one of them that says, after 2024, the planned date for its launch, a deputy reveals the date for starting the development path. So this particular gentleman by the name of Ali Al-Lami is basically stating that they're not going to start this reform yet. They're going to wait another year. And who is he with? He's with the Coordination Framework. Okay. So I'm not sure if this gentleman was out sick yesterday. I'm not sure if he's been maintaining his position and showing up to Parliament. We don't even have a clue on that. Has he even been there for the last 6 months? I have no idea. But here's another article that counters this gentleman. Baghdad and Ankara agreed to accelerate work on the development path. That's the day before. That was the day before yesterday. Okay, so you got to go. How is it that Turkey's at the show? He's at the 2024 summit. And not to mention all the other countries, I think it was like 180, right? They're all there. Sudani didn't show up. There's got to be a very important reason why he didn't. Anyway, so accelerating the work on the Strategic Development Road project is set for a rapid change. Al-Sudani and Barzani are supposedly to be in this global conference. We find out that's not the case. The topics of change. Rapid change. That's one of the main things that they talk about, is that something's going on in the world with rapid change. You remember we talked about the World Bank saying be careful with the rapid shocks? Okay, monetary, financial shocks, global. Okay, so we'll see what happens. This is not surprising for this agreement between Turkey and Iraq to be in the news. Turkey will be speaking at the summit as well, and so we'll see what happens on that. We haven't heard the total agreement with the oil from the Cyan port. We haven't seen that. We have not seen all the salaries been paid yet from the 2023 budget. They talk about the tripartite budget. They haven't shown you all the data yet. So it's almost like pent up. Where are we going with this, Al-Sudani? In this particular case, the Finance Committee hosts a Media and Communications Authority and comes up with recommendations. Communications. Why are they focusing in on implementing Article 17 of the federal budget law for the years 2023, 24, and 25? It has to do with money. It has to do with licensure. It has to do with payments. It has to do with all of that. Here's what they're saying is that we stipulated in Article 17 of the budget law that there should not be the authority directed to maximize revenues at the expense of the citizens, but obtaining state rights from companies. So in other words, what they don't want to do is tap the citizens. They want to make sure that the companies that are involved in doing business pay their fair share. That's where Article 17 comes in. There's Patreon, I think, pretty much has that. I think you guys can all Google that. It should be a good document. It's easy to read. You might have to translate it. That's what you have to do sometimes when you do research, is you have to dig in and get deep, okay? They're going to say that this, hold on, same guy, Al-Sudani noted the necessity of taking deterrent measures against the media that deliberately destabilize and incite security. So at one moment he's talking about the negativity of this particular circumstance, but yet then he says it's important to stand down from destabilizing and inciting security problems. And that's what the media does. And that last article I just read to you, actually, he's doing it. So, which framework is he in? We'll find out. I think I already told you which framework he's in. The Minister of Finance participates in the sessions of World Government Summit in Dubai. It says today, the 12th. What is it about? This is where my main point was. When at the end of the day, what's it about? It's foreseeing the governments of the future. Iraq has been part of the UN assembly system, meetings in September, and they were going to be the savior. Iraq went to Davos. They talked to many people and put many things on the table. I mean, deals, corporate business on the table. And then he comes back, and then he has all these other folks with all these other countries coming in, ready to do the Development Road project. You got the banking interconnectivities, all the electronic interconnectivities. You have all of these different things. And what is it seeing? They said that they want to have produce or secure confidence, promote confidence in the banking sector, right? But now what they're saying is that what they want to do is they want to foresee the governments of the future. They're working to foresee the government's future, and that is part of this whole process. And I think that this article would be the Ministry of Finance participates in the sessions of the World Government Summit in Dubai, and Al-Sudani didn't go. What did he do? He stayed home. He talked about his borders. He talked about his armed forces. He talked about his people. And why? He had to apologize for not making it. There has to be a very good reason, I would think. And we're going to find out what that reason is. So in the meantime, everybody, keep in mind, when Militiaman and Crew, we do our work, we give real data, we don't make it up, we bring it into the best of our ability, and we share it with everybody, just like I did tonight. Our crew has an amazing amount of people from all over the world that give us information. We vet it to the best we can, and we also report it to the best we can. And when we hear things and we see things that are different, which is out of pattern, right? When have we seen banks openly talking and expressing, we want to talk to you now. We know this is happening. We're talking about it. Oh yeah, things are going in our direction. Why? Well, wasn't it certain banks that said that we're getting confidence from Iraq? Did we not hear that? Of course we did. We have all that data in our room. So please, if you're going to listen to the internet, at least come to the source when we, Militiaman and Crew, talk about things and get it directly from the source. Not cut and pasted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. Okay? Because if you get a video of mine and it's cut up in 4 different chunks, it's likely edited. So be patient, understand, know what you own, know where you get your data, and please, if you like my data, the way we bring it, hit those like buttons, and please hit those subscribe. We're really, truly pushing a goal to help a lot more people, and your help helps. And we have those mechanisms with PayPal, Zelle, and Venmo to do so. So keep it coming. Thank you. Once again, guys, don't forget to hit that like button if you like this content. Subscribe to the channel or join us at the Militiaman and Crew Patreon community for even more exclusive content. You can also donate to this channel by hitting the links in the banner to help keep this page up and running. Your generous support is greatly appreciated, as always. Much, much appreciated. Thank you so much and have a great day.